Hello Stampers, I've got a break card for you today, and I'm using a couple of new sets from the mini catalog that we currently have going, and one of them is Lighting the Way, and this is a great one. It has fireflies in it, or if you're from my neck of the woods, they're called lightning bugs. So we're going to be using the bugs from that, and plus it's got these great little circle stamps in here that are perfect to make this background where you have these circles in the background, giving you that atmospheric look. So we're using that, and then I thought it'd team up perfectly with this other new set. It's Beautiful Thistles. Isn't that stunning? Now both of these stamp sets have coordinating die sets with them. I didn't use them today, so I don't have them out here on my table. But look for those if you go to pick up those sets. You might want the coordinating dies. So we're going to start with our background for this project, and I'm going to have all the dimensions for the panels down below this video. Just click show more and you'll see them all there, along with the links to the products. That'll take you directly to my online store where you can pick them up. So we're going to start with a 3 3/4 inch square piece of basic white. And I want to start with my light color for my sunny area for this. So we're going to start up here in this corner. And I'm using Daffodil Delight for this. It's a nice bright yellow. And I'm using a blending brush. And I'm just going to blend this really all over this panel. And if you're wondering why I just didn't start with a Daffodil Delight card base, it's because you get a totally different look if you start with the coordinating card color instead of adding the color with ink. This is like a base coat for your panel here, and your other colors will be affected by this color here that you put on. Now if you use the cardstock color, it doesn't blend together as nicely for your ink colors. Now I have it all over the card base, but I'm going to make this upper right corner darker. I want a nice solid color up here. Okay, so we're done with that Daffodil Delight. Now I'm going to bring in my medium tone, which is Coastal Cabana. And we're going to use a blending brush for that also. Now I'm going to make like a partial circle here in the sky. So I'm just going to put my Coastal Cabana kind of in a rounded. See how that's kind of rounded there. So I'm going to keep that, and then I'm going to add it to the rest of this panel here. Those pretty colors together, right? Those are happy colors. Okay, so that was Coastal Cabana. I'm going to bring out my darker color for my sky, and this is Bermuda Bay. Again with a blending brush. And I'm going to do that circle thing here with this Bermuda Bay, and I'm not going to cover up all of that Coastal Cabana there. I want a ring of that kind of around that sunny area. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to bring out that Coastal Cabana again, and I want to add some lines here for our sun that's coming in, and they're faint, but they are definitely there, those sun rays. And what I'm going to use is I have a 3x5 post-it note here. You can probably use just a regular piece of paper. You just have to hold it really steady. And I'm putting this Post-it note on here, so it's the corner of it is up here in the right corner of my panel, and it's going down towards the bottom. Okay, so we have a diagonal line with this, and I'm going to ink up the tip of my blending brush here, and I'm not coming from this corner, I'm going up towards, and I'm adding some color along that postage note edge. And I'm going to leave like an inch of space here without these sun rays. Okay, so that leaves a little ray there. And I'm going to keep moving my Post-it note, and I'm going to keep this corner up here in the right corner. I'm just going to keep on adding my rays here. And I'm keeping them light. I'm not putting a whole lot of color in. There we go. And now I need to do this part. So I'm going to line it up with that, and I'm just going to kind of peek underneath and make sure I'm a little bit above that first ray that we put in. And I'm going to work this direction. I love how these sun rays really light up your card. There we go. So there's my sun rays. You can put in as many or as little as you want. Okay, so we're done with our Coastal Cabana there. And I want to brighten up this corner and make it look more like a sun. So we're going to bring in Mango Melody. And a blending brush, and I'm just going to add it to this corner here. And that gives it more of a sun look. Not pretty? Now I might bring it down just a little bit more. I didn't add any more color to my brush. There we go. Okay, so we have that in there. And now I'm going to do my sunspots, and I have Whisper White here. And I'm going to use these two circle stamps from the Lighting the Way stamp set. I'm going to start with this small one. I'm going to concentrate in the Coastal Cabana area, and I'm going to bring them into the Bermuda Bay area a little bit. Now I'm adding quite a few here. And this works best if you have a nice inky basic white pad here. And you can add some grouped together. Okay, that was the smaller dot that I just did. And I'm going to add some with the medium dot in the set. Now these are going to pick up that color that we put in our background some. So I'm going to let that dry just a bit, and then I'll come back and I'll stamp over them again if I feel like they've lost all of the white in it. So I'm going to set this aside for now, and we're going to work on our Thistle. So I have just a scrap piece of basic white here, and I'm going to just stamp this Thistle on it, and that's from the beautiful Thistle set. And I'm going to stamp this in Memento Tuxedo Black. That way we can use our Stampin' Blend markers on it, and we don't have to worry about anything bleeding or whatnot. So I'm just inking this stamp up well. This is such a beautiful image. Giving it a stamp on my basic white here. Now when we go to color this, I'm not going to worry too much about coloring outside of the lines because we're going to cut this image out. So I want to start first off with adding some of this Daffodil Delight Stampin' Blend marker. This is the dark Daffodil Delight, and I want to add some of that to the top of the Thistle. We're just going to work our way down a bit. And this is the light Highland Heather. And I'm going to add that in this other brushy area of this end of this plant. And I'm coloring up into that yellow some. Kind of blending those in there. There we go. And then I'm going to use the dark Highland Heather. And I'm going to add some of that down here around the bottom of that brushy part. Okay. And so we're going to color this part in here. And I'm going to color it in with the light Granny Apple Green. I'm going to color all of that. Okay. And I'm going to color the leaves in. Again, like I said, you don't have to worry about going outside of the image for this, so you can really speed up and put this in because we're going to be cutting this out, and we can cut it out on that black line and not worry that we have some outside of that. Makes for quick coloring. All right, so we got all that in. And now I'm going to take this dark Granny Apple Green and I'm going to color in about 3/3 of this little prickly part of this image here. And then it's really nice that we got this light Bermuda Bay, and we're going to add some of that in. Now I'm going to use the pointed end for this, and I'm adding this at the bottom of the prickly part. This really gets us tied into our background with this colors. So now I'm going to just add some of this to the stem a little bit. And the bottom part of these little leafy bits that come out here. There we go, and that really makes that Granny Apple Green pop. So there is our finished color piece. Now I want to add some white highlights to this plant. So I've got my Signo white gel pen out here. Just going to get it going real good here. And I'm going to just add some highlights to the outside of these leaves a little bit here, where the sun would hit them. Just on the tops of them. There we go. And then I'm going to add some to the little pointy areas here where that Granny Apple Green is showing. That's going to make it pop too. All right, and then you can add some to the top, just a few little lines here and there in that yellow part. And there is our image all colored in. I think it turns out so nice like that. Okay, so now I'm just going to fussy cut this out. Now you can use the coordinating beautiful Thistle die set that has a coordinating die to cut this out. I'm going to fussy cut it because I want it really close, and the die will leave just a little bit of that white cardstock showing around the image. I want it to look like more like it's in the scene instead of on top. So I'm going to just cut this out quickly and I will be right back. Okay, I used my paper snips. I got this all cut out. Now we're ready to start putting things together a little bit. So I'm going to bring my background scene in here. Okay, I'm going to bring my scene back here, and I just want to place my flower here on the panel. I'm not going to glue it down yet because this is going to stick off the panel. So I'm just placing it where I think I'm going to want it. And then I'm going to stamp this little lightning bug like 3 times here. And I'm going to use Memento Tuxedo Black for this. I just have to be careful that I stamp this correctly. Okay, so I'm going to stamp one down here. And one like it's heading towards the plant. And then I'm going to put one up here. I kind of have them all flying different directions. There we go. And I'm going to add little highlights to them also. So I can remove that. And I'm going to add highlights to the top of each of their wing sections. And that will really make them pop. Okay, and I'm going to bring out my Daffodil Delight marker that I was using. This is a dark Daffodil Delight. And I'm going to color over their little lighted part. And I'm just going to do a circle in that area. I go outside of the image, and it's just, I'm making a dot just so it looks like they're lit up. And I'm bringing back my white gel pen again, and I'm going to make some small dots here and there. Some groups, some by themselves. What you don't want to do is make a pattern, so make sure you do this really quick. I'm going to add some up here in the lighter area. This is like just particles floating around in the air. You can see them through the sun rays. Okay, so I got those on, and I think I just want to darken up a few of those dots. And now that we have this white on here and it's dried down some, we can take our dotted stamps and another coat of that white if we want to make these a little lighter, and stamp over some. I don't stamp over all of them, just some of them, so some of them look a little brighter than others. And these won't pick up that color underneath as much. Put one there, maybe one coming off. And they won't pick that color up as much because you have the original one that's already on there and dried some. Okay, so that's it for my background. Now I'm ready to start assembling things. I used a layering circle dies, and I cut out, this is a Highland Heather 2-inch circle. I used the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And this is a Mango Melody piece, and I used the circle layering dies for it also, and I used the 1 5/8 circle. You can use punches for these too, but I stamped this first on Mango Melody cardstock, and then I die cut it out so it would be nice and even all the way around. And I used Memento Tuxedo Black to stamp that. And this sentiment is out of the Lighting the Way stamp set. Okay, so I'm going to adhere these together. And I'm just going to use my multi-purpose glue for this, but you use whatever glue you like. And then just for a little decoration, I'm going to take my Bermuda Bay marker. I'm using the fine point end. And I'm going to make a dot at the top, dot at the bottom, dot on the right, dot on the left. And then I'm going to make a dot in the middle of each of these. And then one more dot in between each of those. Now you can leave it like that, or you can add some embellishment, and I did. I decided to use my matte black dots for this, and I just wanted to add some black into this sentiment piece. So I thought these dots would be a good thing to use. And so I'm just going to cover up a few of those Bermuda Bay dots. And I'm trying to put it on the dots that are at 12, 3, 6, and 9. And then I'll come in and I'll do the dot that's in the center of those. And one more, and I think I have it. There we go. And so there's our sentiment piece all ready to go. That's bright and cheerful, right? Okay, so we have those 3 pieces done. Now I'm not going to stamp the inside of my card right away, so I have a basic black panel here that's 4 by 5 1/4, and then I have a Mango Melody piece here that's 3 3/4 by 5. These are going to just be my inside panels. I'm going to add some love inside my card here. There we go. And I'm going to put this inside of my Mango Melody card base. This card base is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and then I folded it in half to create my quarter card. Now if you're going to stamp a sentiment, I would say do that before you adhere this Mango Melody piece in. That way if you mess up your stamping, you can always turn it over and you got a second shot at it. I'm just going to use my bone folder here to get this to lay a little better. Here we go. And then I have a basic black panel that's 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to adhere my main panel background here to this card base here. There we go. Just center that up at the top of the card stock there, and then we're going to add this thistle plant in here. Just going to lightly add some glue here and there, just touches, so I don't have a bunch on here that's going to gush out on me. And see, this is going to go on to the black cardstock to that stem. So that's why I didn't want to glue it on my main panel yet. There we go. How pretty is that? I just love this image. It's just so realistic looking. Okay, so that is the background. Now we need some ribbon on here. I'm just going to take a length of fresh freesia ribbon, And I'm going to put it along the bottom here. I'm going to flip this over. And I'm going to use mini glue dots to adhere those ends to the back of this cardstock. There we go. Now that's adhered on there, and we'll kind of straighten it up in the front. I'm going to take just a little bit of this ribbon, still with the fresh freesia here, and I'm going to slide it under that ribbon we just put on, and then I'm going to tie it in a knot. Going to trim the ends there. And then I'm going to bring in another color of ribbon. Now this is the same kind of ribbon, only this is pale papaya, and I'm going to cut 2 lengths of this one. This is just a way to kind of fluff out that ribbon, and it gives you a different look than if you just tied a bow. So I slid that under. I'm going to tie it the same way as I did the other ribbon. And you kind of want these legs to all be going the same way, so I'm trying to tie it just like I did the last one. There we go. Give it another trim. And then we have this one more here. Get inside my knot there. There we go. I'm going to trim this. And then I'm going to bunch these up. They'll slide along that ribbon that we have down here. So you can just bunch them up. And now I'm ready to put this on my main card base here. Just going to glue it on. I put glue right over that ribbon. Kind of holds things together a little bit. There we go, adhere that on. And then I have my sentiment piece here I'm going to put on with Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm just going to add 4 Stampin' Dimensionals to this, and I kind of put 2 at the very top and then 2 at the bottom. You kind of have to look at the front to see where the top and bottom are. And then I'm going to take the backings off and adhere this over that ribbon on the card front. There we go, got the backings off. I'm going to just add this on here. I'm kind of looking to where those bugs are. I don't want to cover it up, so here we are. Now here's our finished card. I hope you enjoyed this project and did you give it a go. Thanks for watching. Bye.